At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
It's the day after Hurricane Irma flew past St. Kitts and Nevis, sparing us the worst. I'm Andre Huey from sknewsline.com. We're here in the community of Parsons, heading into Date Bay. We're on our way to Old Road to see how they fared in the hurricane. Basically, what we've seen so far on the eastern side of the island, the eastern side would have gotten the most hits as a result of the direction of Hurricane Irma. Overnight, it moved a bit up north from the original forecast, and so majority of the island was spared the worst of the ravages of Hurricane Irma. But the eastern side of the island did get a little bit more damage than the other side. The damages are quite minimal. Most of them are down trees and down utility poles. One area of note is the area of Mansion, where the playing field there, the Mansion Estridge area. The roof of the covering of the grandstand, that was completely blown away. So there's no zinc, there's no roofing on the grandstand in the Mansion Estridge playing field. There were a few down trees along the side of the road, and in the area of Sadlers we noticed, Sadlers and Parsons, we noticed some down utility poles. A lot of the communities, a lot of the residents in this area, in the eastern part of the island, Keon, Sadlers, Molyneux, Date Bay, as we're heading into now, they were without power and are still without power for most of the day after the hurricane has passed. But we're checking in, and of course the reason for that could be the fact that most of the utility lines in those areas are down. On our way in, coming into Keon, we saw the cable company, they were online, they were trying to repair some of the utility poles and lines in the area. We're going to head over to Old Road to see what's happening there as we continue our coverage. While we do that, we'll continue to monitor the areas of St. Paul's, Date Bay, Newton Ground, and of course Harford Tree and Old Road, the areas that would probably be the most hard hit of Hurricane Irma. So we're now in Old Road. We were here a couple of days ago, where we looked at some of the houses close to the shoreline to see how badly they were doing ahead of the storm. This is a tree. It was a huge tree, right? Yeah. And from reports we got, it just fell on this shop here. That left a hole in the roof of the shop. So this is the first major damage we've come across so far in Old Road. So it was a lot of wind down here then?
Yeah.
So we're here at the location. We were here 2 days ago, just before the hurricane. The lady for this house, this is her husband, and Sandra Richardson for this house. She spoke to us and talked about what normally happens here. Well, as you can see, the sea is still rough. It's actually rougher than when we came a couple of days ago. Being that the hurricane is still out at sea. These stones right here probably would have been all the way up here had the storm was a bit stronger. As you know, it took a different turn just before it hit St. Kitts. We still have some water in the gut here. This would have been coming from the river, right?
Yeah.
So there's still some water here, left here. Right. So this is what the sea would have brought up here. So far the people of Old Road have been spared the worst, because it could have been worse. What we've seen so far is just a big tree, a huge tree that was blown down. And this was a very powerful hurricane because a lot of the big trees around the country were actually blown off, were uprooted. Yeah. So we see some trees in the river right down here. We'll just get a shot of that. So you're seeing there in the background some trees down, limbs in the gut, and the gut basically is the walkway for the river, the Old Road River, which will come down and meet the sea. So fortunately for Miss Richardson and family and the residents here in Old Road, the hurricane was not as strong as was forecast. And so even though the sea is there and raging and railing, it still hasn't come up, hasn't met with the river, and as a result of that, the people have not been flooded out, which is usually the case whenever there's heavy rain. But there's still another hurricane out at sea, Hurricane Jose, expected to reach here by weekend. So preparations will be the same.
Yeah, we're moving on to the
Okay. So right now no one is here.
No.
Okay. And most of this stuff you've managed to move away. Okay. Well, we wish you all the best. We hope you will probably do like Irma and not do us that bad. So we're now leaving Old Road, having spoken to Mr. Richardson, one of the residents in Old Road who we spoke to before, and his wife. So far, things are good in Old Road, apart from the tree that fell on the shop in the area that left a hole in the roof. Everyone is safe. There hasn't been any major damages reported from the Old Road area, as would normally be the case, because of course with Hurricane Irma taking a northward trend overnight, that prevented most of what could have been a catastrophic damage in the area. That prevented that. So we give God thanks for that. We're heading now back to the Bastia area. We are now monitoring Hurricane Jose to see what's going to happen there, whether he's going to be making direct landfall on St. Kitts, or will he be following the same path as Hurricane Irma did. We'll continue to monitor the situation there and provide you with reports. Reporting for SKN Newsline. For sknewsline.com, I'm Andre Huey. Stay tuned.